As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner, YouGov, offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more. And let's start with a Google story. And I thought this was, we have two lawyers, ex-lawyers, here today. So I think this is
present.
This is
Your Honor.
Probably a good story to start with. And the headline here is Google countersues Epic Games with Apple's winning legal strategy, arguing breach of contract. So the subheadline here, the internet giant is fighting Fortnite maker Epic in court over the way it manages its Google Play Store. So they're talking about Apple's victory, that Epic had breached its developer contract with Apple when it activated code hidden within the game to violate basically the App Store rules. Supposedly, Epic did that also with Google. And so now Google is essentially suing for the same thing, for the same type of, for the same type of a mistake or whatever what you want to call it. This is not a mistake, for the same move that Epic made with regards to Google's Play Store. So what we're seeing here is, as Epic is losing to Apple in court, Google in some ways potentially taking advantage of this. I'm curious, the lawyers in the room, how you look at this. Is this everyone piling on Epic as they sustain losses to Apple? Is it?
Sure, do you want to go first, or I'm happy to take it?
Like, what were the lawyers? What was the discussion at the law firm? Right? Was this?
I didn't dive as much into the details of this one as I probably should have, but I mean, if the argument worked for Apple and they made a convincing case, it makes sense to me. Google would say, "Hey, it worked over there," and just kind of transfer it over.
Google, I think, has a stronger argument, right? Because you can sideload apps on Android. You can't do that on Apple. And so if Apple worked, like you said, it's even stronger argument. I think what happened was Google saw Apple, in essence, winning and said, let's kick these guys while they're down and let's win too. What I read in the article suggested a lot of sneaky behavior from Epic. I don't know what's going to come out in court, what's going to be truthful or not. But it seems like Epic did everything they could to avoid paying Google their fees, even though they did have alternate payment methods available to them. So it's kind of interesting. No, jump in. Yeah.
No, I just want to read this. It says, in its 43-page filing, Google recounted how Epic had activated similarly hidden code within its app on the Google Play Store last year, which broke Epic's contractually agreed rules and led to the app's removal. Epic, Google said, then began a public relations campaign intended to villainize and harm Google while distracting from Epic's breach. Google further argued that Epic entered into a legal agreement with Google with which it never intended to comply, and that its actions have put its own users at risk, have harmed Google, and are deserving of relief from this court. I mean, I know Epic tried to lead this like populist kind of revolt, right? To save the little guy. Apple and Google are the bad guys. Anyone feel like this has spectacularly backfired now if Google starts to pile on from a legal standpoint?
Would you say it's an epic backfire?
That's
a William comment.
There you go. No, I mean, what does Google get out of this, right? Like, their money? Do they care? Like, what is the point for Google here? What's the win from a lawyer standpoint?
Kind of, it has a nice benefit of like disincentivizing future attempts like this. Not only will it fail, but there'll be these additional negative consequences for you. A little like proactive litigation prevention.
I think it also said Apple got some $6 million, right? So Google's probably owed something similar. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's nothing.
Fees in there. No, but there's also
that's not even paying the lawyers' fees. You know that.
Yeah.
Well, there's probably a separate provision for that. I wouldn't be surprised that they would get fees on top of it. But yeah, to Chirag's point, it's definitely to deter future companies from doing the same.